So the boys, what a race!
What a race indeed.
Best race of the season.
I'd be inclined to agree. Degree or agree.
What do you think?
Unreal. I think it had a slow start when it was just kind of like DRS trains at the beginning. I thought we were in for a slow race here. Started saying some bad things about Singapore and how the circuit was terrible. But then it just came to life, didn't it? Thanks to...
It was a safe car.
Yeah.
A few pit stops.
Sargent coming in good.
Again.
Bloody hell.
Well, I don't know how he got away with driving all the way back to the pits with a
He'll be penalised for
front
that.
wing.
He was.
Yeah, no, he should be.
He should be.
Bits of carbon just flying
all
everywhere.
over the place. What was he thinking? But either way, bro. I mean, like those last, there was about 4 or 5 was watching it, and then, mate, that last 5, maybe even last 10 laps.
It was just...
even more, I would say.
Merck
It was 15
mediums.
laps. Yeah, as soon as Merck went on the mediums, it was game over. The first lap, they gained 2 seconds on the other cars.
Well, we were just thought, oh, it's a formality now. They're going to just storm through the field. They're going to overtake us, and I say us, McLaren. There's no bias.
He's got his top under there.
There's no bias on this team.
Oh yes.
There's no bias on this podcast whatsoever, is there?
Not at all.
Not at all.
Happy for Sainz though.
But Sainz, yeah, very well done.
Yeah, Ferrari's #1 driver,
Cracking
showing his worth,
I agree.
as always.
Absolutely. They were talking about that on Sky, weren't they? They were saying now, it's almost calling into question whether they're definitely on par with each other. There's no question of Charles being #1 driver.
Charles is
Carlos being.
He's worse.
I thought you were going to say wash.
Yeah, I thought you were going to say wash.
No,
He's like, what word can I think of that begins with W?
But I thought from 2022, Charles been so dominant in the Ferrari.
That is not.
But then it's compared to Sainz, and then in 2021, obviously Sainz beat him. So it's kind of like, what's going on there?
And now in the championship, Sainz is almost a full race win ahead of Leclerc.
That's insane.
He had a perfect weekend, banging it on pole. Like totally took control of the race to the extent where there was some bits he was even holding back, helping other people with DRS. He just controlled it. Driver of the day.
Yeah.
He won. We don't know fastest pit is. I had to check that.
Oh shit! Yeah.
I'm sure we'll get that.
One job, mate.
We'll get that done.
But should we speak about Lando?
Lando.
Please.
Wow.
Let's.
I mean, to be honest, like what the Mercedes caught up within DRS within like last 5 laps, was it?
Yeah.
And he held them off. I don't know whether Merck had sort of buggered the tyres because they were ragging it, because they were catching like 2 seconds a lap on Leclerc, and then
because I think
unbelievable.
Norris wasn't even in DRS of Sainz at this point, so
certainly at times, he wasn't.
It was
he?
like a second and a half, so we were like, if he's got any chance of staying ahead of the Mercs, he has to put his foot down and get DRS.
Yeah.
And whether he put his foot down or whether Sainz just kind of held off a little bit, he got the DRS for the last few laps, and it saved his ass.
Yeah, definitely.
Is that what Sainz did then? He helped Lando, or was that like a strategy to keep like the Mercs behind?
No, I think it was to keep the Mercs behind Lando, because I think he thought he wouldn't be able to keep the Mercs behind, because he even said his front tyres were shot.
Well, why would that help keep Mercs behind?
So, well, the Mercs have got another car to pass before they get past him. So I think he knew he could keep Lando where he wanted. So he just had to manage that position. He had to manage keeping Lando behind him and not give him a chance to overtake, and then manage keeping the Mercs behind Lando.
Right, yeah.
Because I think as soon as they got past Lando, they'd get past him, which probably, indicates Lando's a better driver than Carlos.
Well, we obviously know that, but...
We obviously know that.
Yeah.
I mean, the Ferrari, as in Monza as well, it looks fast.
Yeah.
They've come up on the back of a 3-4, then a pole position, and then a race win.
Yeah.
Well, 2 pole positions.
2 pole positions. Were they pole last week as well?
Yeah. In Monza,
yeah. And then, Red Bull. Where were they?
Well,
interesting.
Where were they?
Well, Mr. Daly, he mentioned something about I didn't realise that the flexi wing.
Would you like to give us a little insight as to the flexi wing concept?
I can try it. I really don't know much about it at all.
Supposed to be our specialist engineer here.
Specialist engineer.
You're like the Bernie Collins of this podcast.
Yeah. Right. Are you Danica Patrick then?
Who are you? Could be whatever you want to be. Digress. Go on,
Anyway, what we're talking about.
Flexi wing.
Flexi wing. So for those that don't know, apparently the wings were flexing on the cars, which meant that when they were going through slower corners, they were getting more downforce, but when they'd go down the long straights, they would flex and kind of retract.
Reduce drag.
Reduce drag, so it had high top. Because it's the aero efficiency that Red Bull have been so good at.
Yeah.
Like, they've had the downforce, but on the straights, they've just been missiles. Whereas today, they just didn't have that kind of pace. But it coincided directly when the FIA brought in the technical directive about flexi wings, and I just sniff Ferrari 2019.
Where a technical directive has come out, and all of a sudden some extreme performance has just been completely taken out of the car.
They were absolutely dominant. 16 race wins in a row, like no one could touch them, and then it's just fallen.
But even Toto Wolff has said, like, he reckons they could go back to their usual performance next week in Suzuka. But I would say there's a bit of both involved. A bit of they've had to deal with the technical directive and a bit of the nature of the track, because it is high downforce, isn't it? I mean, you saw the size of the wings compared to at Monza. The wings at Monza, it's like a letterbox literally in it, whereas it's much bigger. At Singapore. Anyway. Anyway.
Yeah, I might do the same.
Yes.
Yeah, so flexi wings.
Yeah, you were to give us a bit more of an insight than that. I still don't know.
Do you not understand?
No.
So the technical directive.
From him.
No, okay, yeah. No, so the technical directive, apparently, so the way they test it at the minute is the FIA put load tests on certain parts of the wings. But it
he doesn't know. You don't know.
No, I actually do, I think.
He's watched a video about the race on it.
Yeah, we'll just insert that video here. We'll link it below. But no.
Is there actually one?
I've no idea.
Oh, we won't link it below then.
We'll make one.
Go.
So apparently they've increased the amount of testing points, such that it's harder to kind of go around the regulation. I'm trying to explain it. Do you understand?
I get it, but you've already explained it to me.
So it's flexible, then we got rid of it.
No, hang on.
Bang on.
Yeah. Oh, fair enough. That's it. Moving on.
Yeah, because there were like rumours about the teams that would be harmed most by it, and Red Bull came out and they were like, we don't think we're going to be, affected by it at all. But it seems too much of a coincidence that they're washed.
I think. But they're fortunate they're in a position now where they're so far ahead. They've got such a nice cushion where I think Adrian Newey would probably come up with something, maybe not by Suzuka. What are these noises?
Sorry.
There's so much noise. Not by Suzuka, but they'll still win the championship. They could have won the constructors this race, I think, but obviously they didn't.
Yeah.
But Max had a cracking race.
Even still, he's
levels to the game.
He got shafted by the safety car. I was on an unfavourable strategy, but still finished sixth.
Yeah, I mean, there was actually a time when, because Max and Perez were like next to each other, and then they both boxed, and Perez was stone cold last. I think Verstappen came out 15th or 16th, something crazy, and he managed
was it on the mediums he came out on?
Yes.
Yeah.
Yeah, and then somehow managed to finish P5 thanks to Russell.
Unbelievable.
Was it P5 in the end?
P5, because he was P6.
My God.
Russell, that's it. Now you brought up a good...
Because the Red Bull could have won the Constructors this weekend on the condition that Red Bull had a perfect weekend and both Mercs double DNF'd.
Yeah.
So I think Russell was thinking, he's DNF.
Yes, well, I think that'll be what a lot of people are talking about on F1 Podcast next week.
Certainly.
What on earth was he doing?
Yeah, what on earth was he doing?
He just... well, this is Russell we're on about, isn't it?
Russell.
Right, okay. Before I just go on a tangent.
Adrian Newey.
Obviously he just clipped the wall right towards the end, and he lost a car, and obviously went to apply the brakes, but car just
good
shot
analysis,
on and went
I mean, Lando did
straight into...
I think Lando just shows Lando's a better driver, isn't it?
Yeah, we knew that already.
But I don't know who said it, but it's just like it's a rookie mistake from Russell. Hamilton didn't do it.
The pressure got to him, didn't it? Yeah.
And even Toto said it's kind of like a bittersweet for them, because he just sort of got knocked them out of like 22 points. What they I wouldn't say they needed, but where are Merc in the standings at the moment?
Well, they're second still.
But with Ferrari's run of performance, Ferrari could quite easily catch them by the end of the season. So at this point, Russell's thrown away 18 points, not 18, 15 points.
He'll be fuming.
Yeah.
We generally thought he was going to win it at one point. The way he was gaining on Leclerc.
Yeah.
15 laps to go, he's gaining 2 seconds a lap. Yeah, we were like, game over, Merc 1-2. Because Toto at the end, he said in his interview, he said his simulations and predictions
was 1-2.
1-2.
Yeah.
Yeah. But they didn't take into account that Lando is an absolute legend.
Yeah.
And then obviously Carlos as well.
Carlos giving him the DRS as well. I mean, what a phenomenal ability to drive.
Lando defensive,
it was incredible.
Yeah.
Can we talk about Leclerc?
Yeah.
Because
yeah.
he had exactly the same strategy as Sainz, the favourable strategy, he had the same car, everything. And he finished like 20 seconds behind the leading pack. I don't know what.
Oh, there was something. I don't know whether it was under the safety car, but I know when he pitted, he went onto the comms and went, what's going on here?
So he backed up because they double stacked under the first safety car, and he backed up the pack in the pit lane.
Right. Yeah.
So that he would have enough time to let Carlos pit, but because of the way he did it, he backed them up too much. So when he went into the pit lane, he then had to wait for not only George to pit, but then Lewis to pit, because Lewis was then held up by George, and Charles couldn't get out. So,
well, it meant Lando came out right in front of him.
Yeah.
That was like annoying for him. But he came out right behind Lando, and he still finished like 20 seconds behind Lando.
Yeah.
So he was probably just cruising.
Even like the first couple of laps of the race, the way that Ferrari were talking, I think Leclerc was always going to kind of be that sacrificial lamb, wasn't he? Because he was saying like 3 seconds, needed a 3 second gap. But I'm happy for Sainz. Leclerc still got in the points, but it's an interesting.
So how many points did Leclerc get? Or was he fourth?
Yeah.
It
would have been because obviously Russell.
So 10 points. I mean, it's been a good weekend then for Ferrari, hasn't it?
It's been. Yeah.
Well, he smashed all the free practices. He topped every free practice.
Oh yeah, they won two in the first two, didn't they?
Really?
Yeah.
What about third?
Did they do it? I didn't watch the third.
I don't know. I thought they got close. I'll have to check that actually.
I don't think they did, but I could be wrong. I've been wrong before.
And you'll be wrong again.
Then what else have we got? George bidding it.
Washed.
Can't believe it. It's ruining my grid rival, that as well. Oh, speaking of ruining my grid rival, Alonso, I also like. What was he doing?
He had a sting.
Finished last, didn't he?
Yeah, finished last.
Last 16th. Yeah.
So he pitted under that final virtual safety car, didn't he?
Well, he said like the cars are drivable.
Undrivable.
Whether it was just the heat or...
He boxed, but then he had a 5-second penalty as well, didn't he? Because earlier in the race he went into the pit lane.
Oh, right.
It was like 40 seconds at one point. Oh, no, it wasn't.
Oh, they couldn't get the back of the car up either. So they couldn't get the rear wheels off. Yeah, so they did the 5-second penalty, and then they replaced the front tyres, but they couldn't jack the back of the car up.
Right.
So he was stationary for like 28 seconds or something, they said.
Right, okay.
So yeah, completely bottled his race, came out.
All in all, it's been a rough week for Aston Martin,
but
isn't
then he didn't he spin at the end or something as well?
Yeah. Because they yellow flagged it, and then he got back on the track. There was a couple of yellow flags, like about 2 or 3 towards the end, and then
he found himself racing against Sargent for last place.
Yeah, and Sargent came out on top.
And had he served his lap in that pit stop? His penalty.
Penalty.
Yeah, he served his penalty.
Okay.
So
he could have been ahead of Sargent.
Yeah, he could have been.
Ooh,
but yes, speaking of Sargent, definitely lost his seat. Like,
you're calling,
I'm
right?
calling it.
Okay.
Like, Albon finished in the points, right?
No, because I think he got hit by Perez at the end.
Yeah. There's that video that came out at the end,
yeah.
He would have finished in the points.
I think
he
so,
put in again another ridiculous Albon shift, Sargent there, just a silly mistake at the beginning, just overshooting the corner, losing his front wing.
Not under any pressure.
No pressure. And then he comes out, keeps driving with this wing flying carbon everywhere.
Yeah.
And
how that was allowed?
I know,
thought about that.
Yeah.
Sure, the yellow flagged it until he got to the pits, and they're like, there's nothing on the track.
Oh yeah, by the way, there's debris everywhere.
Yeah. So I'm amazed there weren't more punctures, to be honest. They clearly did a good job of cleaning it up. But
yeah. Well, Tsunoda, because my prediction last week was 5 DNFs, so we had 4.
4, yeah.
And Tsunoda, fucked on the first lap.
If you class
Stroll,
he did not start.
Ooh.
You can't finish something that you didn't start, so...
That's been noted. I'll take that for review later on.
We'll go to the steward's room with that one.
Yeah.
What happened to Tsunoda?
Well,
he just first lap with it. He's
Did he say puncture?
Oh no, puncture it was. Yeah.
He said puncture, but
could you not just replace the tyre?
yeah, like.
But I don't know how bad it was because he seemed quite far away from the pits. I think.
Yeah, but I'm sorry. If Sargent's driving back with literally his car falling apart, you can drive back with Hamilton, Silverstone. He won the race with 3 wheels once. Like a puncture isn't the end of the world. I think Tsunoda's just given up.
So who are they? What, Russell, Tsunoda? Who were the other 2?
Albon.
And Ocon.
Yeah,
Ocon just had like classic engine failure. Just Alpine being Alpine.
He had a French problem.
Yeah.
It just went on strike, I think.
Yeah.
Wave the white flag.
And then
I don't know if that's allowed here.
Might have to 16 minutes 30. You might have to trim this.
16 minutes 30. Yeah, we'll put that in there. Maybe wave your arms just so when we're editing.
But Liam Lawson.
Legend.
Yes. Wow.
The GOAT.
Is Danny Rick coming back?
No, I don't think he is.
Well, it's an interesting topic to discuss, isn't it? Because you would have just assumed, like Lawson for a few races, he'll do an average job, and Danny Rick will be back in. But considering Danny Rick's form, certainly at McLaren was a downward trend. He's not really had enough of a chance at AlphaTauri to do anything. Whereas Lawson is young, his trend is upwards. They can develop him into such a good driver that it wouldn't surprise me if.
Yeah, because bearing in mind that he'll been unfit as well. He's never driven Singapore before. He's got more points than De Vries got in half a season. He's got more points than Danny Rick. He's nearly got as many points as Tsunoda now.
Yeah,
it's
like,
remarkable.
In my opinion, there's nothing more he could have done. He's absolutely maximised every opportunity.
Within a realistic sort of scope, you can't have imagined for much more.
Yeah,
really,
he'll be in a seat next year.
And you can tell he's a talent. He is a talent.
But Danny Rick's contract, it's not like 100% he's going to get a seat back though. Like if Liam Lawson does perform, he doesn't just earn his seat back, does he?
Is that the case?
I don't know. I thought that was. I thought we talked about it last week.
Yeah, it's something like, I don't know. Yeah, I don't know actually.
I just thought it wasn't someone else. Like I don't know what's happened with his contract, but I just thought it wasn't like he was guaranteed a seat all the time. Like he could just get shifted out. But I don't really know.
Well, he was always the reserve, wasn't he? So. Yeah. Well, then F1 will have to change the intro again, won't they? Because it's obviously Danny Rick's big smile comes on again.
Is this the most drivers they've had in the season? Like just different drivers?
Yeah, well, before today they had more drivers than points, didn't they?
Oh yeah.
So they had four drivers, 3 points.
No, but it's just like the most. How many drivers have we had? Like 23.
Well, in some years there's been 24 drivers because there's been 12 teams.
Oh, of course, yeah.
But for a 10-team season, obviously then with 20 drivers, your point could stand. Yeah.
Yeah.
Did you hear that over there?
Something's gone down, hasn't it? Gosh.
It's all happening. Yes, no, I think he'll stay, Liam Lawson. When was he expected back? It's been, I think he said 6 weeks recovery from.
So he'll miss Suzuka.
Yeah. So
he could be in after Suzuka, and I don't know what race that is though.
I just don't see the benefit in bringing.
Is it Mexico? No?
They might be going over to.
Yeah, they do start heading over that side at the end, don't they? Yeah.
So would it be Houston? What is it? COTA, that's it. Circuit of the Americas.
That's the one. Brazil.
Mexican, and then Brazilian. Oh no, will they do COTA
Vegas
and Vegas?
Oh, Vegas, yeah.
And they come back to the UAE, don't they?
And then they do Abu Dhabi.
Yeah, Abu Dhabi. Yeah.
Oh yeah, Abu Dhabi.
Dude, you triggered it.
I didn't say it.
I saw a glimpse.
I feel like you did, but just not in words.
Said what?
There was a point in the race where there was Max and Hamilton.
Oh yeah,
going
yeah.
at it.
Oh, yeah.
Well, there was a very close bit of action between them two, wasn't there? You know, like going, you know, they didn't leave each other a lot of room, but it was fair racing. Nothing, you know,
I
no crash.
guarantee there'll have been like a little bit when Hamilton overtook
A bit of
Verstappen
animosity,
on pure
yeah.
pace. There'll have been like maybe a little bit of hand gesture inside his cockpit. I don't know.
Just like,
But-
yeah, fucking.
In fair play, like obviously it was because yeah, well, because obviously Verstappen and Perez, their tyres were just shot at that point. You know, they
Yeah.
had absolutely no pace. Like cars were, you know, they were fighting with the Alfa Romeos and the Haas's.
I mean, it just again. As much as I love Perez, I still love Perez. I think he's a great teammate, great driver. But it just shows put anyone like in that Red Bull against Max. It's just so hard. Like he didn't finish in the points today, Perez, did he?
No, he
And they were
finished.
on the same
no.
strategy as Max. Max finished 6th. And
Perez was well off the pace.
Fifth Max.
Bloody hell.
That's crazy, isn't it?
Yeah.
He was best of the rest, essentially.
Yeah.
Or would you say Leclerc was best of the rest today?
No, you can't say best of the rest when his teammate won. You can't say
Then,
that.
right, yeah.
He
Then Max was best of the
I
rest.
think we've not touched on this enough. That Leclerc didn't even put up a defensive effort against the two Mercs. He could have held them off a bit longer.
A bit
at
longer,
least.
yeah.
I think that's a joke, that.
Yeah.
Considering the fact that Norris and Sainz had to hold them off like 5 laps, and Leclerc first corner, he's like, through you go.
Yeah. No, he basically just got allowed to go ultra defensive, and then Russell switched him back, and then just sent it up the inside.
Oh, I wonder whether it's because, you know, if he's back there and his teammates won, it makes him look bad. But if he's like, oh yeah, the Mercs won, we just didn't have. It's an excuse to say we didn't have the pace today.
Oh, that's quite a conspiracy. That is.
Could be a conspiracy, but if he's like, you know, if the Mercs win, Sainz drops back a few places, and it would have been Sainz and Leclerc.
Like
split
P3
by-
and P5
So then
or P4.
The excuse is there that we had the strategy wrong, just not got the pace.
Yeah.
I mean, that is a big potential conspiracy, hot take, whatever you want to call it. But
I think strategy for all teams was on point this week. I think. I don't think.
what about Alfa Romeo?
No.
Oh, man.
Literally, I'm not being funny. I thought during that race is. I think it's what one of you two said, like they just don't get any airtime, do they?
Yeah.
None.
And then I just thought they're probably using all this time as like free practices. They're not actually they're just trialing the cars.
Yeah.
Like they know they're not going to get anywhere near the points. Besides Bottas, actually got what, last week was it Monza? He got 10th.
Yeah.
But it's just
It's so bizarre, isn't
Audi's
it?
probably looking at it, being like, "Oh,
What have we done here?
Kept our monetization in there."
Well, Bottas went. He had 2 odd pit stops, didn't it? I think Joe pitted
So
as
Joe
well,
pitted on lap 3
on soft,
from softs to hard,
which is baffling.
and then pitted under the first safety car, which was only like 17 laps later for mediums, if I'm not mistaken, and expected to go to the end of the race, I'm assuming. Then Bottas started on hards, pitted for
I think he did a similar
mediums or
strategy to
softs.
the Red Bulls. Tried to
go,
along.
yeah,
one stopper.
but then ended up retiring like while no one was watching, basically.
Yeah. What did he do?
Yeah, why did he retire?
Yeah, he
actually?
DNF'd.
Oh, they said his car was stopped on track, didn't they? So
They did, yeah.
They didn't show it, but
okay.
he must have had a problem.
Problem. He just couldn't be arsed, could he?
But then Haas as well. Haas had a bit of a stinker. You know, they were both.
Mate,
Yeah.
I never thought Haas would make it anywhere near the points this race, I must admit. Like, I don't think
Even though they were up
they started,
there.
6th and 8th, was it?
something
pretty
like that.
high.
Yeah.
But we knew.
Deep down.
It was weird to see Magnussen outperform Hulkenberg this week. I don't know where they finished at the end of the race, but Magnussen
No, but there was that
outqualified.
period where Magnussen dropped like 7 places in one go.
Oh, he got, what
Because
was
his
it?
tyres were...
There was a clip where it was an Alpine who kind of like, it wasn't pushed him off, we kind of said it was
Oh,
a racing
yeah.
incident.
I
But
think it was
happened,
Gasly,
the
wasn't
same
it?
Yeah, I think it was.
Yeah.
Happened the same 2 laps. But then, they just went back to normal, Haas being Haas, unfortunately.
Yeah, just not really doing anything in the race.
Yeah. Couldn't care less, to be honest with you. Same with Alfa Romeo. Like, no airtime. Not interested.
What do you think? Because obviously Joe's just renewed his contract. What's he thinking? Because he's probably happy he's still got a seat.
He's happy to just have a seat, I think.
He's probably hoping that, you know, he stays there long enough for when Audi take over. But again, you know, everyone's saying, oh, come 2026 or 25, whatever it is, when Audi come in, they're going to be fighting at the front. Like,
No.
What plan have they got in place to kind of
to
dethrone Mercedes, Red Bull, Ferrari, all these big, like Sauber, Alfa Romeo? When was the last time they were at the front? It's a long time ago.
They could. I don't know if maybe they could have a big leap forward like Aston Martin did at the start of this year. They could do something like that. But in terms of challenging for any form of title or even race wins,
like just because they're called Audi, it doesn't.
You just wouldn't
mean
no.
I mean, it'd be interesting to see what the Audi engine brings, to be honest. But obviously, there's so many regulations coming in now anyway. What no one really knows what's going to happen to the cars, like with the cost cap and everything. That's why I thought. I mean, like I said last podcast, it's kind of making me hopeful. Come 2026, that sort of time, but the budget cap is so low, it might actually bring it a bit closer. Especially like you see Singapore, Monza.
Yeah,
it is getting a bit closer.
Definitely.
With the racing.
Yeah.
I mean, it makes the we were saying about the qualifying times, like there was 0.005 of a second between Russell and Leclerc, and I was trying to like stop and start a timer as quick as I could, and that was at least a tenth.
Yeah.
I couldn't get it less than a tenth. And
the top three were split by like a tenth.
Yeah,
Leclerc had
literally.
a cracking start though, didn't he? On the replay.
Yeah.
I don't know whether it was just the
soft
acceleration.
Tyres.
He was soft, isn't he? Yeah, right at the start.
Because he jumped Russell.
Oh yeah, and then Hamilton just decided to go straight on for
that was interesting.
Yeah, that's a good racing line actually. I'd take that if you were being,
and went past Norris and Russell.
Yeah, he just went.
And he was like, I remember he was like, oh yeah, but I was ahead at the apex.
Russell didn't give him any room or pushed him off. Russell pushed him off.
Yeah, he did.
Yeah, but then Norris came on the radio and they were like, he was ahead at the apex, and Norris was like, well, obviously he was going to be ahead at the apex because he outbraked himself and he was never going to make the corner.
Yeah.
You can't.
He was always going to be ahead of me at the apex.
Yeah, it's like if someone just doesn't brake, then they're going to be ahead of everyone at the apex.
Yeah.
But they're not going to make the corner. You can't.
It's
just not how it works. So he gave both the places back anyway, so it was fair.
All in all, it was good race. I say all in all. I was going to say good race for Mercedes, but then it would have been a very good race.
You caught yourself.
Because they were the only one that went mediums under the virtual safety car.
Yeah. I think positive for the team, pace-wise. Yeah. If they've got simulations showing that they can build potential 1-2.
Yeah.
They're clearly on the right track.
I could build a simulation saying I'm 1-2. I don't think.
Could you? You bet you couldn't.
Yeah, I'd just jump on F1 2022 and just be like, AI 0.
I couldn't even do that, I don't think.
But no, I mean the Merc was good.
Stay tuned for that content.
Stay tuned. We were all sort of bricking it because when the safety car, we were like, as McLaren fans, we were like, ooh, what are they doing here? Like, because Sainz and Norris and Leclerc didn't go in pit. The Mercs obviously made the right call, and they held the fresh tyres as well. They had a brand new fresh set.
That was the main differentiator, though. If they didn't have that, they wouldn't have done it. I don't think.
Yeah, they were gaining 2 seconds.
But the way that
Leclerc,
I mean that was insane. That pace, but the way that they'd planned out their qualifying meant that they had those fresh mediums for the race, and they were the only team that had that. And I think, what's the point in doing all that in qualifying if, when the opportunity presents itself in the race, you don't take it? It'd be stupid not to. So they wouldn't have done it if they hadn't set themselves up for it.
I think we had a direct. I've just thought of this now, but we almost had like a direct replica of Silverstone this year, in that Mercedes. We said after Silverstone we would never doubt the McLaren strategist again, because Mercedes boxed for the fresher tyres. McLaren stayed out on the old worse tyres. And Hamilton on the fresher tyres couldn't keep up with him. And we said from now on, never doubt the McLaren strategist. Exactly the same scenario happened this time. Mercs box for fresher tyres near the end, catch them, and they can't overtake Lando Norris.
Says a lot about the car, because on that back straight there was a point where Russell had DRS on Norris and Norris didn't have it, and Norris had to cover the inside on one going into the corner, which meant Russell had a switchback on him.
A switcheroo.
And then Norris had to get back across Russell which meant he had to stay significantly ahead of him so that he would have the defensive line into the next corner. And he did all of that with no DRS, whereas Russell had it. And I think that says a lot about their car itself. It's actually, they've built, especially compared to at the start of the season, when they had like 5 pit stops in the first race or something like that.
Yeah, literally.
But I mean, you don't often see how good Lando's. I think it's quite,
understated.
Lando's defensive.
Yeah. Just his driving in general, it just doesn't seem to. It just goes under the radar how good it actually is.
He's definitely better at defending than attacking, I would say. But I think. I can't remember what I was going to say then. I did have a point in my head.
He just needs to make
that. That's probably why you can't really remember it like that. There's so much vodka in it.
No, it was not.
No.
It's just
fruit juice.
But yeah, Lando Norris.
Should we do predictions?
Oh yeah,
have we got more content?
Hang on, son. What else have we got on here? What's that?
Predictions.
We have got predictions. Red Bull washed. That says it.
Yep, I think enough said, really.
Well, then you followed up. Seems like business as usual next week.
Question mark.
No question mark.
Oh right.
Ooh, should there have been.
You know something we don't.
Well, that's what Toto said. Toto said it would be business as usual next weekend.
Right, we'll see.
But we can dream.
We can dream.
We can
dream
pray
for that Lando win.
Absolutely.
I think it's coming. 7 races left? I think it's doable.
It's coming.
If not this season, he's 100% having one next season.
I said that in 2021. I was like, he's definitely getting it in 22.
But the McLaren's getting good now. It's getting good. He could fight for a top 4, top 3.
To be fair, just before we go on to predictions, actually, one person we've not spoken about, Piastri.
Oh,
let's talk about Piastri.
Unbelievable.
Yeah.
What, 10? Yeah. We finished 7th, was it?
Yeah, I think he started.
I think he would have finished about 7th with the crash.
So he gained 10 places.
But the only reason he started so far back anyway was because Stroll binned it in qualifying, which again we've not even covered. But
Crofty was saying during qualities he was the Piastri's lap. He was on pace to get into Q2.
Yeah.
But obviously Stroll being.
Stroll, who again another driver who's not got a seat next year.
Well,
there might be room for.
I'd argue Stroll's is the safest seat.
Yeah.
No, I'm sorry, it's not anymore.
It's interesting.
It's so not.
Who would you get in? I said
Lawson.
Albon, literally Lawson.
Albon could be going.
Yeah.
Albon. Yeah.
Albon's going to Aston because what a lineup that is. Alonso and Albon, fact. And then Lawson and Tsunoda probably stay, but then Williams.
I think that's a good squad. It's just driving an absolute shitbox. Tsunoda F2 winner, and Lawson's just class. I don't know what he's won, but I know he's won a lot. I don't really know much about him. I know he's won a lot.
What's his first name?
Leslie. Well, is that it? Is that everything
that's
covered?
not even a joke, is it?
No.
Yeah, predictions.
Predictions before Ollie realises.
I've got them on my phone.
He actually doesn't know who
Where's my phone?
Lawson is.
It's
good prep here, mate.
It's Lee, isn't it?
Lee Lawson. It's got a ring to it, actually.
Lee Lawson. Right, so we don't know who fastest pit was. I don't really have any idea who it could have been.
Do you mean for this race?
Yeah, because there was a couple of 2.4s. I don't. Was there any lower than that?
No, I didn't see any, but
I saw it. No, I didn't see anything. Who did you see do a 2.4?
Don't know. I saw one.
Is it on the app?
Well, it might be now. Hold on. Formula One.
Good preparation.
Right, let me.
Sorry about this.
Keep the viewers entertained.
34:22.
Do you want to maybe tell the viewers a joke while we?
Do you want to tell the viewers a joke while?
No.
Is that just production manager?
Hang
on. I don't think it'll be out yet. It's not normally. It's like an hour afterwards. No, it's not out. Right.
Off the balcony.
Is it actually alright, that phone? I thought there was a gap in the back of that chair.
Oh my god.
Over the shoulder.
Melody just sent me a...
That's definitely not podcast appropriate.
Something to be curling. Yeah. Oh my god, I've just seen that. That is awful. Anyway, so Bolton, we didn't actually do driver of the day last week. I didn't get out of my head immediately.
I'm sure I said signs anyway, so.
No chance.
You said fastest lap Max.
Oh, who
Just
got the
Hamilton.
fastest lap?
Christ.
Oh, good.
Fastest pit McLaren, we don't really know. Win Max. You put lost Stroll.
Oh. Nah, because it's last of finishes is the rules we use, isn't it?
A McLaren podium, but what, did you mean both McLaren's podium? Or just, I can't remember.
No, because then I would have said McLaren's podium.
Fair enough. So we'll say 1 point.
1.
1 point.
I'll take 1.
What, McLaren podium? That's a good effort, to be fair, yeah.
Daily, fastest lap Russell.
Oh. It might have
It was
been.
Lewis, to be fair.
Yeah, it was Lewis. Fastest pit McLaren. Yeah, we don't know. Win Max, lost Bottas. Then you put Piastri beats Norris by 3 places.
What?
So that's like 0.
This is on the weekend where Norris has got a shit ton load of upgrades.
Oh, well, I didn't know that at the time.
Yeah, to be fair, neither did I.
Oh dear. Well, I'm laughing at yours, but mine's coming up. Fastest lap Alonso.
Last.
Fastest pit Red Bull. Could have been Red Bull. Win Max, I lost K-Mag. And my surprise was 5 drivers DNF, which I was very close on.
Very close. But
Yeah.
What was it for?
4 at the end.
4 and 1
4
do
on
not
a
start.
DNS.
Yeah.
Oh.
And it could have been Alonso could have, and then obviously Sargent.
Sargent should have.
He
Should've.
might as well
Yeah.
have done, yeah.
But should we predict?
So what is it? Does Bolton win this week then?
I don't
With
know.
1 point.
I mean, it's all dependent on the fastest pit, I think.
Well, we'll ignore that. So
Yeah.
Well
so Bolton
done.
wins.
Thank you. I appreciate that. Yeah, thank you.
Well done, sir.
Yes, yeah.
So on to Suzuka.
Suzuka.
Daily.
oh, am I going first? Go on, hit me.
Win.
I've got a footage of that now. Proof.
Scrap that. Win.
Lando.
Why did you just looked at him like he just, I don't know, shat on your bed or
Lando
something?
Norris. Can we give him double points if he gets that? Can we give him 2 points?
Yeah, I'd agree to that.
Yeah.
I'm going to put Lando as well.
I mean, well, if I'm backing myself with that, then it's like, what's my big surprise going to be? Because if that happens, that's...
Yeah. No, I wouldn't even say that's
I'm booking a day off work
Yeah.
if he does win.
The annoying thing is, for my crazy prediction last week, I so nearly said Max not winning. Do you remember?
Yes,
I said it, but I didn't go for
yeah.
it for some stupid reason.
Loss. Losing the race.
Sonoda.
Ooh. How the fucking hell do you spell that?
TSU.
Well, that's assuming he actually starts this race.
It's, right. Oh, yeah.
I dread to think what he's written there.
TSU NODA.
Starts with an S, yeah, okay.
He's written tsunami.
I'll just put Yuki. Fastest lap.
Put Yuki-san.
Fastest lap.
Russell.
Oh.
Oh, I did that last week. Hamilton.
Oh, you did, yeah. Hamilton. Hamilton. Fastest pit.
Alpine.
Thalpen third.
Why Alpine?
I back them.
You shouldn't. You really shouldn't.
Driver of the day.
Lando.
Lando. And the surprise.
Lando. Win.
Perez beats Verstappen. So I don't know why I'm saying that, 'cause it's not going to happen.
You said it now. Perez
Does that
beats-
count if Verstappen doesn't finish?
Wait, can I change that? Can I say Lando beats Piastri by 6 places?
That's not a surprise.
No.
8 places.
No, because it's not a surprise. It's just like
I think Perez beat Verstappen would be a surprise.
Yeah, it would.
Yeah, you've said it. Moving on. Mr. Bolton.
So what's my first one?
Win.
I'll go with Lando as well.
Oh my god.
Ooh.
It's happening. It's confirmed.
Lando. Who's losing?
I'm going to say Stroll.
Stroll. Fastest lap.
Lando.
Ooh.
Lando's winning with fastest lap. He's still in the championship fight at this rate.
Fastest pit. You said McLaren last week.
Yeah, I'm gonna go Red Bull.
Red Bull. Driver of the day.
That's got to be Lando
It's
if he's won it.
Surprise.
What?
Lando winning.
Does Lando count?
No, I think
No,
it's
give it to him because.
What, Lando winning is a surprise?
Yeah, because basically, unless Lando wins, he's getting no points next week. So.
No, well, I've not said that.
You have just said that.
No, I know.
You took my first answer.
Oh,
All right,
I'm putting Lando wins.
Yeah.
Right.
Lando wins then.
Someone want to do mine?
Yeah, go on. How does this work? Right.
It's pretty straightforward, to be honest.
Paper.
Basically, you're
Right, who's going to win? Your handwriting, mate.
Lad, it's difficult.
Let's go, right, who's going to win?
Do you need a crayon?
Look, you just...
Wait, what?
You're lying.
You just, like, his hand was just falling off at the end.
I had it on my leg and it went like that.
Right, go on, who's going to win, lad? Who's winning? P1.
P1.
Max and Tommy. Matt and
Max
Tommy.
and Tommy.
Matt and Tommy.
Matt and Tommy. Who's going to P1?
Charles Leclerc.
I was going to say Charles, actually.
Right, Charles.
Yeah.
I'm just going to put initials CL. Right, who's going to lose?
Bottas.
Ooh.
Bot.
Bot.
They don't.
Fastest lap.
Fastest lap. I think it could.
Loses with fastest lap.
I'm going to put Stroll.
Ooh.
Because he's going to go on softs when he absolutely has a stink of a race.
Stroll. Who's fastest pit?
I think I said Red Bull last week, so I'm going to go McLaren.
Look. MCL.
Yeah.
Driver of the day.
Your handwriting's not much better.
We both put Lando.
Let's go for the 3P. I'm going to put Lando as well.
Lando,
Yeah.
Jesus.
LAN.
And then what?
DO.
And then what?
That'll do.
Right. Surprise. What was that?
I was testing the pen out.
Just
No, that was you, mate.
Yeah, I know.
Right, okay.
surprise.
Surprise.
Well, a Charles Leclerc win would be a bit of a surprise.
Yeah,
Yeah,
but
we'll
he's
see.
won before, and so it's not that much of it.
Who would have Suzuka last year?
You're saying if Charles won next week, you wouldn't be surprised?
Not with Ferrari at the moment, I don't think.
I would be a bit surprised, but it wouldn't be a surprise.
Right. And anyway.
What was the question?
You're so done with me, aren't you?
What was the question?
Who's the
Go on.
who's the biggest surprise?
How many beers have you had, Ollie?
Not enough.
Biggest surprise is Ollie not spilling his Guinness in the next Grand Prix.
My surprise is we're going to have Lando and Piastri 3 and 4.
Okay, that's difficult to write. LN
Just put McLaren 3 4.
P4
But we don't know Lando's going to be ahead of Piastri anyway. So.
P. Oh shit.
3.
3. P3 4. So I put LNP3 OPP4.
Sorry?
That makes sense.
We're definitely gonna look next week and be like, what the fuck? Oh, that goes monetization.
Should we show the camera the quality of handwriting that?
That's just
Oh, shit.
seeing about
See
focus that.
Has it not got autofocus?
No.
Right. Well, this therefore
wash.
concludes. This concludes the
Yeah, you have
DRS
to get it in
podcast.
Yeah, it's just a voice.
I'm just doing a close-up. This therefore
So-
concludes the DRS podcast for for Singapore.
When is the next race?
It's
Is it
next week at 6 a.m.
6 a.m.
Is it? We might get up for it.
Are we gonna be there?
Might not.
We're not going to be there. But
We'll get up. Now we're going to close with a joke.
he's not feeling it. We had Michael Plass listening in,
Listening in,
Bloody hell.
making sure we're behaving, which I think
Yes,
probably
we're still
not.
waiting on our darts video
Yep. What? What darts video?
that we recorded.
Oh, I lost the footage.
What, like you lost the game?
Oh. Nah, it was a fix.
It's
Anyway.
coming out at some point. What more videos?
Get on with it.
More shit quality videos coming out.
Which I'm sure you'll enjoy.
Yeah.
Yeah. Well,
Shout out.
best race of the season.
Should we shout out anyone? Michael Platt for being here.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Cheers, Mike. Do you want to say hi and bye?
He's
Staying quiet.
I will shout out Lando Norris as well for his P2 today.
Yeah.
Excellent drive.
Shout out to Smooth Operator for winning.
Smooth operator. Yes.
Shout out to Joanne Platt for creating such and some credit to Mark as well. You did all right, didn't you? Right, signing off. Thanks very much.
Till next week.
Hey.